Hey everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to
The Drunken Library.
So today we've got a little something different for you guys. So normally on this channel we get drunk and then we talk about books. And today we're drinking and
we're going to talk about some musicals.
Yeah, because we have mentioned before on the channel that we love musicals, but we've never really talked about them specifically, the ones that we love.
Mm-hmm.
This, that, whatever.
Yeah.
So we have each chosen a top 5.
Probably, without a doubt, top number 1 favorite thing in my life is Rent.
Rent is pretty great. It's
It's
one of the ones that has a decent amount of overlap in our favorite musical life.
It's part of how we bonded as friends. I just fucking love it.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, I guess we can, do a little mini itsy-bitsy baby summary of each of these.
Okay, yeah.
So, Rent, the tagline that everybody should know is just, everybody has AIDS.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, everybody doesn't, but, that's what everybody thinks of who doesn't know Rent, who's, got a passing familiarity with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like a rewrite of La Boheme in 80s New York.
Yeah. And, it's just these people who are poor and sick.
Starving artist types.
Yeah, they can't get their shit together.
They can't pay their rent.
Then the whole point of it, too, is just okay, but that doesn't mean we can't live an awesome life.
And, love kind of conquers all.
Yeah,
it's, kind of depressing, but also kind of uplifting. So.
Yeah, and the music is amazing, and Adam Pascal is in it. What?
Going to be a recurring theme in your list.
Yeah.
Alright, so the first one I have written down on here is my most recently discovered favorite, but it took over my life.
For a year.
And that is Hamilton. For those of you who are not aware of Hamilton, where the fuck have you been?
It took over the world for
It did. It won a bunch of
minute.
Tonys and Grammys
and
all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So Hamilton is it's based on the biography of Alexander Hamilton, and it's basically told as it is his life story, but it's essentially using his life story as a way to tell the story of the founding of America and the development of the U.S. government, and it's a hip hop musical, and it's fucking spectacular.
Yeah, it is.
Bonus points, it also has the fastest rap in Broadway history in it. And I know all the words. And can do it relatively well. I'm not going to do that today, although it's tempting.
If you want to see Sam rap Guns and Ships, please comment, and maybe we'll make that a thing.
It's pretty entertaining.
The next one that I have on my list, also, actually, as a coincidence, is also on my shirt.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't know we were filming this today.
Yeah, and that is Aida. Aida is also actually based off of an opera. But this one was done by Tim Rice and Elton John. It takes place in ancient Egypt, and it's about these this captain of a ship, I don't know, traveling whatever his face.
Some shit.
Also has Adam Pascal in it.
That does.
And he captures a bunch of slaves from Nubia, and it's about how he kind of falls for one of them, or she falls for him. Her name is Aida, and gets her a position helping the princess who he's engaged to, and then she ends up being. Did I say she's a princess?
You did.
Okay, so she's trying to be a good leader for her people who are all slaves, and he's trying to be okay, I'm engaged to the princess, but I don't want to feel tied down to this. Here's this woman I feel really connected to, and then they're just we want to be together, but we can't. And then the Egyptian princess finds out, and she's just okay, well, this really sucks. But then she kind of uses her new position of authority to, I don't know, change the way their countries interact from that point on in the future.
It's like Love Story meets changing society story and history, and Elton John. So.
Elton John. God, the music is so good. And Adam Pascal.
In case you guys were not aware, Amber has really strong feelings about Adam Pascal. I also adore him. I just don't have that same, like, very intense, just, like, guttural, like, ugh.
Yeah, I do.
It's fine. You're
That's
allowed
a thing
to.
that I do.
It's me and Lin-Manuel from Hamilton. I just,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. He could be... I would watch a video of him watching paint dry. I don't care. He would make it genius. He's the guy who wrote and then starred in Hamilton, in case you guys were not aware. But,
I bet he would actually make that really entertaining, because he'd have some, like, great commentary.
He's goddamn wonderful.
He would just have something slick to say. He'd make it real funny, I bet.
The episode he was on for How I Met Your Mother is, like, the highlight. It's not even a good episode. It's just, like, the highlight of my existence. I really love him. And not only is he a genius, but he's also very attractive. Yeah. Anyway, that was not the next one on my list. I'm not talking about Hamilton again. I mean, I will, but... No, the next one on my list should come as no surprise to anybody who knows anything about me. And that is Wicked.
What?
I know. It's shocking.
Never knew that about you.
I know. Well, you guys are probably aware that I've got some feelings regarding The Wizard of Oz and Oz as a fictional world and, you know, stuff. And Wicked is based on the books by Gregory Maguire, which you guys know that I love because I've mentioned them on the channel numerous times. And it's a musical kind of rewrite of those. It's like a slightly different than the books because, of course it is, but it's basically just the story of the witches of Oz. And so it's the life story of the character Elphaba, who's the Wicked Witch of the West, and Glinda, the Witch of the North. It's like their interactions throughout life and like through school and all the way to the end of like the end of like Witch of the West's life, or so you think. In the musical, there's some fun stuff, but it's the music's really, really good. The casting in the original Broadway cast was really, really good. I love it. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. It's a great friendship story. It's mostly about that, which I think is really nice because that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's fabulous.
I've been getting into that one. I've never seen it. Granted, neither of us have seen Hamilton either.
No, because it's impossible to get tickets, and also we don't live in New York.
Yeah. I've also never seen Aida, but my high school did Aida my senior year, and I was in it.
Yeah.
So
you've seen
I know
it.
the story comprehensively.
Like, you haven't seen a professional production of it, but, like, you've seen Aida.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, the next one I put on my list is Mamma Mia.
That's a good one.
I just really fucking love Mamma Mia.
It's beautiful. It's the music of ABBA.
Yeah.
And it's a story of a girl finding her long-lost father / finding herself. Mm-hmm. It's
set in Greece. It's a really cute, like, mother-daughter story. Mm-hmm.
And friendship story. And, like,
it's
true
just
to yourself.
fun.
It's a fun musical.
It's
and
so fun.
Got a good message, and it's just all around a good time.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
And I saw that one once as a traveling Broadway.
Yeah, I saw that one recently, because it was at the Fireside.
Oh, right on.
I mean, the movie also, we've both seen a number of times.
Oh, yeah, the movie is a million times. Amanda Seyfried and Meryl
Streep can be cast in anything.
Yeah.
And she does it right.
Also, I'll watch anything with Colin Firth in it.
Yes.
Like, anything with him in it.
Also, like, Pierce Brosnan in that movie, like, okay, so his voice isn't great.
It's not great.
It's not
bad, though.
that bad, but it's, like, compared to the rest of the cast, it's, like, it's just not there. And then they pair him up in a couple of songs, like, with Meryl Streep, and it's just like, oh, you poor bastard.
Yeah. Sucks.
It sucks to be you.
Man.
But, it's so great. It's a great one.
Incidentally, we've also seen, like, you've seen Wicked. Mm-hmm. And we've both seen Rent live. Mm-hmm. Like, the traveling Broadway for Rent.
Yeah. And we both saw a production that had, like, 2 of the original cast members in it. So.
Anthony Rapp and Adam Pascal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's having a moment.
I cried when they sang What You Own.
I'm sure you did.
I can't stop talking about it. I'm sorry.
It's been years she's still talking about it.
So good.
Alright, next one I have on my list is, it's a classic, and it is West Side Story. Nobody talks about this. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Because it's just one of those that, like, people kind of forget about because it's older and, like, oh, yes. It's being kind of overshadowed by newer stuff. It's been, like, running and then having revivals and...
I'm sorry.
It's fine. No, and like movies been made and whatever, it's been running for, but it's essentially a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but it takes place on the west side of New York in the 50s, I want to say, and it's like instead of the Montagues and the Capulets, it's the Caucasians versus the Puerto Ricans, and it's gangs in New York City, and like. Two people fall in love from opposite sides, and chaos ensues, and it's got fabulous dance numbers, and
that it does.
Really, really catchy music, and it's a good time. I mean, it's not a good time, it's kind of tragic, but it's a good time.
When she had me watch the movie, I've only seen the movie the one time. When we're watching it, I was like, oh, I know this song. Oh, I know this song.
Yeah, everybody knows songs
I know
from
this
it.
song
It's just
too.
people don't know that that's where it's from.
Yeah.
Also, I've seen that one live, like, production of that also, so.
Nice.
Yeah. I've seen that one a few times. I saw once as, like, an amateur, like, teenage production, and then I've also seen it at the Fireside, which is a dinner theater, like, an hour and a half away from. Yeah.
On my list is Sweeney Todd. I
love Sweeney Todd.
I first saw the movie with Johnny Depp in it. I just, if you guys have spent any time on our channel, you probably know that I have some significant feelings about Johnny Depp. They exist.
We both have significant feelings about musicals. I have some significant feelings about creepy shit.
Yeah.
So Sweeney Todd's kind of the best of everything. It's pretty magical.
Yeah. And for anybody who's unfortunately unfamiliar with the story, it's
a musical for people who don't like musicals, I feel like. Because, like...
I mean, there's a lot of musical tropes, but it's...
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so like, when the movie came out, I went to see it with the guy I was dating at the time. And he was, like, not trying to go see it. And I was like, no, you'll like it, I promise. But he's, like, not into musicals. And then we get there, and, like, the first murder happens, and he was like, oh, shit!
So, yeah, the story of Sweeney Todd is about this guy who gets, like, fucked over by this
Yeah, he gets, like,
judge,
framed for a crime he didn't commit, and like
exiled. And then...
separated from his wife and his daughter.
Yeah, and then he comes back under a false name.
An assumed identity.
And he's a barber.
And he reopens his old barber shop.
Yeah, and so then he's gonna get revenge on this judge, but then, like, he misses his chance, and he's just like, everybody sucks. Like, people are horrible.
So he just starts
killing everybody.
Like, they come in for a shave, he slits their throat, he rigs up his chair, so
and then they get baked into pies.
Yeah, because the woman downstairs, Mrs. Lovett, runs a meat pie shop, and she can't afford meat because poverty.
It's London, and like,
it's London during, like plague era, kind of, and
some fucked up shit.
And so she starts baking their bodies into meat pies.
Yeah.
It's real fucking twisted.
Yeah. And it's awesome.
It's also Sondheim, and I love Sondheim musicals. More on that in roughly 12 seconds. But he's really great for like musical scores and like kind of making like creepy shit into musicals, and also just like themed music for characters and recurring musical themes, and just like you can tell when you're watching a Sondheim musical.
Yeah. And yeah,
it's good.
I saw it when it came out, and I just loved it, and I've been watching it ever since. Yeah. And courtesy of Spotify, I've been listening to the original Broadway soundtrack.
I have the original Broadway soundtrack on vinyl. Funny story. But yeah, we sang a couple of songs from Sweeney Todd in my choir in high school, and like one of the songs is like, it sounds like a really sweet song, especially in like 3-part harmony in like a women's choir, which is what we had going on.
Which song?
It's Not While I'm Around. It's a great song, but in the actual musical, it's kind of creepy and
So
incestuous.
It's so
It's,
creepy.
like, really off-putting, and he was trying to explain that to us, because he's like, I don't think you guys, like, if you're not familiar with the story, and he kind of gave us, like, a brief plot summary, and I was like, that sounds fucking awesome, because I was a little jerkwad. And, still am. And he was like, but, like, in the play, this is, like, kind of a weird and creepy song, because it's just, like, the way it's done, it's just, like, it like, kind of skeeves you out. Next one on my list is Into the Woods. Again, I feel like people don't talk about this a little more now that, like, the Disney movie came out a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But Into the Woods has been one of my favorite musicals since middle school. And it's because my middle school did a production of it, and I was in it. I played one of Cinderella's evil stepsisters. I got my heel chopped off. It was a good time.
Such fun.
I was one of the 2 people in the production they didn't have to mic. Because apparently I'm loud. Who knew? Well, in that part, there's actually, like, a screaming part in it, so had they mic'd me, it wouldn't have... It would have damaged some people's hearing.
Yes, it would.
But it's really great. It's like a mashup of fairy tales, but it's like a mashup of, it's Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and then they also mention Sleeping Beauty and Snow White briefly in the second act, and then it's also set against a backdrop of an original story about a baker and his wife trying to conceive a child. Anyway, next.
So the next one on my list is Grease. I grew up watching this movie. I used to watch it with my dad all the time, so it's real sentimental.
As far as, like, stage or live-action musicals go, like, Grease was just, like, the one that made me realize I love musicals. The music's part of the story! If you guys haven't seen Grease, get your lives together. Mm-hmm. And the last one I've got on my, like, top 5 list here is Hairspray, which I'm still mad I didn't see the ABC Hairspray live because I love Hairspray and because Derek Huff is wonderful. I don't get the hots for people in musicals all the time. What?
You?
I mean, I had the hots for him prior to that, but, no, Hairspray it's a story about a girl, like a plus-size girl in Baltimore in the 60s, and trying to end just general prejudice and also, like, racial, segregation, separate but equal kind of stuff in her town and on her, like, local TV station via, like, a dance TV show. Like, it sounds so weird when I try to explain it, but, like, it's...
Awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Really great.
You have to watch it. After we became friends and we realized we both loved Rent, and then when we started doing karaoke, it was like, yeah, we both used to sing Rent songs with people all the time. And then, we just started singing them together.
Mm-hmm. Although the ones that we generally used to do with other people are not the ones that we most often do together.
That's true. Anymore. But that is how it started.
It's how it started, but like it wasn't right.
It wasn't right, and we found our song.
Alright, and then we've got some honorable mentions. We each have 2 like animated Disney movies that we wanted to talk about because they are musicals, but like
they're kind of a different
it's kind of a separate thing. So I said back and forth again?
Yeah. So I said The Little Mermaid. I just really fucking love the songs in that movie.
They're good.
They're my jam.
Although as I watch it now as an adult, I find myself more
it's
and
ridiculous.
more siding with the parents. Like, you're fucking 16. You don't know what you want.
You know who I actually side with? Sebastian.
Sebastian is kind of me.
Yeah. I'm just like, I get you.
Like, I vibe you, Sebastian. Yep. I get it. For sure.
Yep.
For sure. The first one I'm going to talk about, because there's less songs in it, is Sleeping Beauty. I love Sleeping Beauty. I've loved it ever since I was little. It's just great. It's cute. Maleficent scares the shit out of me, even as an adult. She's terrifying.
I haven't seen it that much, if I'm being perfectly honest.
She's like a crazy bitch who turns into a dragon. Like...
You gotta be careful about those crazy bitches that turn into dragons.
It's true. I don't want to encounter that in my life. Just,
The next one that I have is Pocahontas, which is probably my favorite Disney movie.
Speaking of, the next one I've got on here is Beauty and the Beast. That's actually the first movie I remember seeing in theaters. Those are our favorite musicals, or some of our favorite musicals. There's others we love.
There's so many. We just
those
kind
are
of pull
the-
these
the
out of our
most
ass.
frequently referenced, listened to.
Mm-hmm. When it's like, all right, musicals go. These ones are the ones we just like right on the page.
Let us know if you guys are fans of musicals and
Mm-hmm.
which ones you like and stuff like that down in the comments. Let us know if you like these kinds of videos that have nothing to do with what we normally talk about on this channel.
Yeah.
Because we would be interested in doing some more of them. We've got lots of interests.
We do, indeed. This is true.
So yeah. All right. Have a great day.
Bye.